This Starrcast show, just like all of our Starrcast shows, are available at adfreeshows.com.
So each of you have traveled the world, and for a part of it, you're under the microscope of your publicly known personas. How strange is that, going through airports and just trying to get through life, where someone's going to walk and intersect with you and they're going to go, and you're going to have that moment of recognition where you know someone knows you, but you don't know who they are? What is that like? Like, as a woman traveling, like, what is that like? Because that's got to be it's got to be off-putting for anybody, like any celebrity. But for a woman, especially if you're in a foreign country or you're traveling somewhere where you're heading to a show and you don't really know where you're going, especially in the days before GPS, it's got to be odd. I'm curious, like, what were some of the weirder sort of road stories and interactions you've had over the years?
Oh gosh. Okay. So it's like Tracy and Miss Jackie and I and someone else were driving like from a TNA house show, and I mean, we were in like the boonies, and it was like a dark road, windy road against a mountain, and we see this car in the back of us. And I'm a nervous person I'm suspicious by nature. I'm always like, who that? What you doing? What you got? And so I noticed this car, and I'm like, hey, get off on this exit real quick. And then the car gets off on the exit, and then they follow us around this town that was like a one-horse town, and then we get back on the highway, and I'm like, this car is following us. Okay, all right, this is what we're gonna do. And so I make up this plan, and like Tracy's driving, like, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do, kid? Don't do anything crazy. I'm like, nah, you ain't gonna follow me. And so we get to the hotel, and I'm like, drop me off right there. And I roll out the car or whatever, and we see the car, and it goes to the gas station, because I'm like there, like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And the car goes to the gas station next to our hotel, and oh God, I shouldn't say this part, but I should say this. Okay, so this is what I did, all right, because you don't follow me like that for 40 miles, okay? So I go to they were at the pump, so I took the gas thing out the pump, and I threatened it to spray it on their car, and I was like, why are you following us? And they were like, we're just fans of yours, Miss Kong, we're sorry, we just were fans. And I'm like, well, you made me nervous. Next time, just, slow your roll, and you can say hi. Please don't follow people for 40 miles. Because I don't know who you are and what you got. You ain't gonna John Lennon me, nuh-uh.
What do you think is our fans, they know you're a real person, but they know your wrestling persona, and I feel like it's different than an actress in a movie or on television. They know that, Jennifer Aniston didn't really break up this marriage or do this thing, or, so they just go, oh my God, Jennifer Aniston, I'm a big fan. They're not like, Rachel, why won't you just date, whoever on the show, but they have a weird time separating the characters, so they'll be really mad at you or really have a certain opinion of that you are that person in the ring.
Yeah. Different
Different from an actress or actor that they can have a different, better time separating.
Right.
Have you encountered somebody talking to you with the assumption of who they know from you as a person in the ring?
There was a father that came up to me, and he was like, my wife's in the bathroom with our little girl loves you, will you say hello? And I'm with my best friend, I was like, well, Kong doesn't talk, how does she sound like? And so like me and my friend, we were coming up with like voices to like talk to this little girl, and then she comes out of the bathroom, and it came out like McGruff the crime dog, and I was like, hi, I'm Kong, and I was like, the little girl liked it, so I'm like, okay, there you go.
That's funny. On the flip side of that, I had trouble with the name Lita. It was given to me. I didn't have a say, or I didn't have an attachment to the name. I found out we started, plans changed. They're like, you guys are up tonight, kid. You're going to film for Heat, which was. We filmed it on a Monday, didn't air till Sunday. And so they're like, we don't know what your names are going to be. We don't know anything about it. Just go out there. We'll figure out the rest by the time we do the voiceovers for it. I heard my name on TV for the first time. It took me a long time. Now it sounds the same. If somebody says Amy or Lita, I'm just like, yeah, because I've heard it for so long. But so I was always in the habit, and you know this in the locker room, it's like there's a big take, some people just it's natural to call them by their wrestler name. Some people it's their, just for whatever reason you gravitate towards one name or the other. And so I'd always just introduce myself as Amy to everyone on the street, anywhere. And I remember when WWE had just acquired WCW, and Hogan was there for the first time, and I said, "Hey, nice to meet you, I'm Amy." And he's like, "Oh yeah, my kids are big fans, but they're fans of Lita. No one wants to meet Chris." I'm like, "Who?" And he's like, "They want to meet Santa Claus." He's like, "Nobody cares about Kris Kringle." He's like, "You are Lita. Introduce yourself as Lita." And I took that into consideration, not with other adults or anybody, but in this, for instance, like when you're saying the little girl that wanted to meet you. So when I was met by younger fans, I was like, they don't, it's just naturally go, "Oh, I'm Amy, nice to meet you." But I was like, no, they want to meet Lita. So I had to embrace the fact that there isn't that distinction from characters in the ring sometimes in our business.
Yeah, keep the magic alive.
Yeah, so thank you, Hulk Hogan, for that.
All right. Is it hard, especially as women, to maintain that difference between the character and the public persona and who you are behind the scenes, because you carry that look no matter where you go, and there's an assumption that you are this persona everywhere you go. It has to screw at your head at some point, especially at the height of the Attitude Era. You couldn't turn the corner without seeing a T-shirt for Steve Austin or The Rock or tons of other WWE personalities. And for you, especially with the braids, people see you, they're going to go, "Oh, it's Kong." They're not going to think it's, that wouldn't happen to you in Glow. They're going to go, "Oh, it's Tam-May."
Yeah.
They're going to know you're playing the welfare queen. They're not going to assume you're the welfare queen. What is that like, trying to maintain that sense of self when there's this massive public sentiment assuming you're the character all the time?
It's so confusing. I'll give you an example. Like last night, they told me there was an after party. And so my best friend's in town, my husband's at home. We're going to do Vegas, because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I got my whole clothes on last night. I was like, we going to the after party. Hey, I had my shirt, my skirt was like up to here. I'm like, we ready to dip. And then I come and like everybody's in T-shirts and jeans with Double or Nothing and Bullet Club. And I'm like, oh, wait. We not dipping it tonight. Like everybody's coming up and they're treating me as Kong, and I'm like, I'm in Kia gear tonight. I'm ready to do it. And so it felt very contradictory that Kong was in her whole gear going out last night. So I was like, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go somewhere else, because this is confusing everybody, me included. So I'm just going to extract myself from the scene tonight.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.